Hello everyone, today we will understand the El Nino Southern Oscillation, also called ENSO. ENSO is a ocean atmosphere phenomenon. It has two parts, El Nino, which is ocean component, and Southern Oscillation, which is atmospheric component. With ocean temperature changes, the atmosphere also responds. So ENSO is the interaction between ocean and atmosphere. Where does ENSO occur? ENSO occurs in the tropical Pacific region, mainly along the equator and slightly south of it, that is southern hemisphere in the Pacific Ocean. Here a question arises, why ENSO occurs here? Because equatorial region receive maximum solar energy, which leads to intense heating of ocean water. This makes it the most active zone for ocean atmosphere interaction, so ENSO is strong in this region. ENSO has three phases: neutral, El Nino, and La Nina. Neutral phase. Always start with neutral condition. In normal condition, trade wind blows east to west across the Pacific Ocean. This wind pushes warm water towards western Pacific, that is Indonesia and Australia. When this warm water accumulates in the west, sea level slightly increases. In the eastern Pacific near South America, cold water rises from below, known as upwelling. Understanding the upwelling and thermocline. Upwelling mainly caused by trade winds, but the thermocline controls the upwelling. The thermocline is a layer in the ocean that separates warm surface water and cold deep water. So, as the surface water is warm, temperature of water below the surface is cold. When warm surface water accumulates on the western side due to trade winds, deep cold water rises in the eastern side. This process is called upwelling. It brings nutrient-rich cold water which attract fish and become good fishing zone near Peru and California coast. That means cold current with upwelling provides rich fishing grounds. So, in the neutral phase, rainfall occurs in the western Pacific region in Indonesia, Australia, nearby Asia due to accumulation of warm water. The neutral phase represents the normal or balanced condition, and all ENSO variation, that is El Nino, La Nina, are deviation from this. Question is why warm water causes rain. Warm water hits the air. Air becomes lighter, rises through convection and carries moisture. The rising air forms clouds, becomes cool because temperature decreases with height and subsequently condense. Finally, rainfall occurs. Regions of warm ocean water are associated with rising air and heavy rainfall. Before going further, we need to understand the concept of Walker circulation. Here, the air cannot keep rising forever, so it moves horizontally at upper level from west to east. Now the eastern Pacific has cold water due to upwelling, so cold surface cools the air. Cool air becomes denser, that is heavier, and dry, so it necessarily sinks downward. Simply, in western Pacific, low pressure creates due to warm water, and in eastern Pacific, high pressure creates due to cold water. Remember, air always moves from high pressure to low pressure at surface, but at upper level from rising zone to sinking zone, to maintain pressure equilibrium. Think like this: rising air creates low pressure, sinking air creates high pressure system and adjusts automatically to maintain balance. This creates a full loop. Air rises in west, move east at high altitude, sink in east, return as trade wind, east to west. So, west is rainy and east faces dry condition. This whole process is called the Walker circulation. So, we can summarize this concept as air rises over warm region due to heating and sink over cold region due to cooling, creating a circulation loop. That is the Walker circulation. Now, understanding the El Nino phase. What happens in this phase? Naturally, ocean always tries to maintain balanced surface water level. Here, water level is higher in west and lower in east. So, warm water flows back east to west. Now, this warm water reduces temperature difference and pressure gradient reverses. That is, low pressure creates in east and relatively high pressure in west. This causes the trade winds weakens or reverse. This reverse trade winds pushes more warm water from the west to east, supported by ocean waves known as Kelvin waves. As a result, the thermocline depends in the east and upwelling weakens or stop. Now upwelling will occur in west due to deep cold water rising in west. Water circulation shift eastward. Warm ocean water in the east heat up the air. Air rises through convection, carries moisture, formed clouds, cools, condense, and rainfall occur in Peruvian coast. This resulted in poor monsoon in India, drought-like condition in Southeast Asia and Australia. Understanding the Southern Oscillation. It is the atmospheric part of ENSO, and it is pressure difference between Eastern and Western Pacific. Why is it called Southern Oscillation? Oscillation means something that changes back and forth. Pressure keeps shifting, sometimes higher in Eastern Pacific, sometimes higher in Western Pacific. This continuous seesaw movement is called oscillation. Why Southern? Because this pressure system is observed in the tropical Pacific region of the Southern Hemisphere, especially between Tahiti, Eastern Pacific, and Darwin, Australia, Western Pacific. This location lies in the southern part of the globe, hence the name. In simple word, a seesaw change in air pressure between Eastern Pacific and Western Pacific in southern tropical region. Now, understanding the La Nina. Whatever happens in El Nino, La Nina does the opposite. As I already told you that naturally ocean always tries to maintain balanced surface water level. In El Nino phase, here water level is higher in east and lower in west. So warm water from east will flow to west. This warm water movement will reduce temperature difference between Eastern Pacific and Western Pacific. Hence pressure difference will reverse. That is warm west with strong low pressure and cold east with strong high pressure. This causes the trade wind stronger, which always move from high pressure to low pressure, that is towards West Pacific. Strong wind push more warm water to west. As a result, thermocline becomes shallower in the east and deeper in the west, and upwelling intensified in the Eastern Pacific. That is, more cold water rises in east. Cold water means less evaporation, resulted in less rainfall. Water circulation becomes stronger. Convection and rainfall become more intense over the Western Pacific, that is in India, Southeast Asia, and Australia. Consequently, this region experiences heavy rainfall, sometimes flood, while the Eastern Pacific remain cool and dry. Simple understanding: El Nino, weak trade wind, less rainfall in India. La Nina means strong trade winds, more rainfall in India. How ENSO impact? ENSO affect Indian monsoon during El Nino, weakens the monsoon, delays onset of monsoon, reduce rainfall, drought, effect on agricultural schedules and water resource management. During La Nina, it's strengthen monsoon, increase rainfall, early withdrawal of monsoon, help in agriculture. ENSO also impact the cyclones and global climate. If question comes, how ENSO impacts southwest monsoon? Right answer in this structure. Definition: neutral condition, water circulation, El Nino and La Nina, impact on Indian monsoon. This structure gives high marks and clarity. So, ENSO is a global climate regulator and a key determinant of the southwest monsoon, and understanding its dynamic is essential for monsoon forecasting, agriculture planning, disaster preparedness, and water resource management in India. I hope you found this informative. Thank you for watching.